Welcome to Chapter 5, Data Collection Methods, where in this chapter, we will be explaining about qualitative versus quantitative data. Right? So from this chart, you'll be able to actually differentiate what are some of the examples of qualitative data versus examples of quantitative data. So in general, qualitative data can be described as some categorical data, whereas the quantitative data, where you actually describe something with numerical. Okay, so for example, in qualitative data, you have gender, religion, marital status, native language that a person or your respondent speak, social classes, qualifications. Okay, academic qualification, for example, maybe you will be describing type of instruction, method of treatment, type of teaching approach, and also some problem solving strategy use. For example, in quantitative data, you will be explaining or describing the respondent's age, height, weight, income, the size of your university, the size of your group, self-efficacy test score, for example, percentage of lecture attended, clinical service performed, and also number of errors. Okay, so the definition of qualitative data analysis is provided here. The qualitative data analysis method derive their data via words, symbols, pictures, and also observations. Okay, so this method doesn't use statistics. So the most qualitative methods include content analysis, narrative analysis, and also grounded theory. So for content analysis, it is usually used for analyzing behavioral and also verbal data. Whatever being said verbally, we are going to use content analysis for the data. Okay, the second one is narrative analysis. So when you are working with data called from interviews, from diaries, from surveys, so this data will be analyzed using narrative analysis. And thirdly, the grounded theory is used for developing causal relationship. Okay, we are going to see if A, then what B. Okay, for developing causal explanations of a given event by studying and also extrapolating from one or more past cases. Okay, this is a sample analysis for qualitative data. So for example, we're going to have this table and we will start with the meaning unit first. So it is a raw excerpt from your interview, for example. So when you have the raw excerpts, you are going to actually summarize what the respondent's narrative is all about. So we are going to put in the second row, condensed meaning unit. So it is a description close to the text. You describe what is actually happened in the raw text on the left hand side of the um, table. Okay, and then when you describe that, do not interpret yet. Interpretation comes after. So you will have a second column on condensed meaning unit, whereby you will do interpretation of the underlying meaning. So for example, that sentence meaning that the respondent have been working in many roles, feeling of stress, etc. Okay, so from that interpretation, you will be extracting their sub-theme and also finally the main theme. Okay, this is how you actually work with your qualitative data. Okay, on the other hand, you could also start from main theme. Okay, main category comes towards the generic category, then you describe them, and then you actually take the raw excerpt and put quotation of your respondent. Okay, so you can actually do both ways. You can work with large data first and focus into the main theme, or you can already identify the themes, main themes, main category, and then you'll find suitable narrative that actually support the theme. Okay, all right, good. So now I will be also sharing this video for you to understand more two different qualitative analysis, and you have to watch this video in order for you to get more understanding. Okay, continuing. We are now going to see quantitative data analysis. So the definition of quantitative data analysis, it is a statistical data analysis methods that collect raw data and process them into numerical data. So quantitative analysis methods actually include hypothesis testing, a mean or average. Okay, and also we have third generic term. It is sample size determination. Okay, so hypothesis testing, it is used for assessing the truth of a given hypothesis or theory for a set data set or demography. So before you actually design your study, you will be already having your hypothesis ready. So in this hypothesis testing, you will actually test whether that your hypothesis is true or not by using demographic study. Okay, so this is what you're going to do if you are actually employing the quantitative data, right? Quantitative research. And secondly, when you are doing mean or average analysis, it will determine a subject's overall trend by dividing the sum of a list of numbers by the number of items in the list. So you will get a general rough idea of the whole population that you are studying. Okay. And last but not least, where we having the sample size determination. So you actually will use this a small sample taken from a larger group of people and then analyze the data. So the results gained are considered representative of the entire body. So there are actually steps for you to conduct quantitative data. So for quantitative data, raw information has to be presented in a meaningful manner, okay, using data analysis method. Quantitative data should be analyzed in order for you to find evidential data that would help in the research process, okay? So, for example, when you relate measurement scales with variables, so associate measurement scales such as nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio with the variable. So, this step is important for you to arrange data in proper order. So, data can be entered into Excel sheet to organize them in a specific format. Okay, you would also be connecting descriptive statistics with data. So you can link descriptive statistic to encapsulate available data. Okay, this could be difficult to establish pattern in the raw data. So therefore, some of the widely used descriptive statistics are as attached here lah. We have mean, median, maybe mode, frequency of particular value, minimum and maximum value, and also percentages. All right. So you will also have to decide a measurement scale. It is important for you to decide the measurement scale to conclude descriptive statistic for the variable. Okay. For instance, a nominal variable score will never have a mean or median. So the descriptive statistic will correspondingly vary. Right. So descriptive statistics suffice in situation where the results are not to be generalized to the population. Okay. So secondly, when you select appropriate tables to represent data and analyze the collected data. So after deciding on a suitable measurement scale, a researcher can use a tabular format to represent your data. Okay. So these are some of the example of quantitative data that can help you understand exactly what this pertains. Okay, so you can read the slides at your own pace. Please pause the video to get more information. I will read the first one. I updated my phone 6 times in a quarter. So what does it mean? Okay, so you have to actually interpret the data using numerical values. So as you can see in the above 10 examples, there are numerical value assigned to each parameter, and this is known as the qualitative data. Okay, so this is where you actually look at the SPSS. This is a software where you can actually analyze your data quantitatively. All right, so I will also provide this link video in the next page for you to get more understanding of how you can actually get a tutorial for the quantitative data. Okay, so sample quantitative analysis is here. you will have a table, you will have a category on your left hand side and some of the category on the right hand side. So like X and Y axis. So put all the numbers in the corresponding columns and rows. So you will have a general understanding of what your data looks like. Okay. And this is for you to do is demographic characteristic. Okay. You will also categorize all your category, your criteria, and then you will have a numbers on your right hand side. The number, the sample. So you'll be using some symbols, some general symbol. Okay. For example, the capital N is for you to actually write down the total sample, whereas the small letter N is for you to actually shows the percentage. Okay. All right. So you'll be doing one research activity right after this chapter for you to actually understand and try how for you to develop your own research study. So if you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me at the contact address as shown here. And thank you very much. See you next chapter.